Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is the third time I'm going to try and record this because I keep having little kitty cats jump up and lie down on my project. Let's see if we can get through this one, and let's see if I can remember to say everything because I feel like I'm repeating myself, although you don't know that. So, welcome to Multi-Photo Monday for September. I was thrilled and honored when Becky asked me to participate in the series that she does with Miranda, Dolly, and Caitlin. Once a month on the third Monday of the month, they get a collaboration, or I guess it's a little bit of a hop or whatever you want to call it, but they each get a project up on YouTube using at least 2 or more photos. There is occasionally a theme, generally quite easy. This month, Becky assigned us simply the theme of autumn, and whatever that could mean to us, photos, colors, the subject of what we are scrapping, whatever autumn felt like us for this particular project. So to begin with, for multi-photo is a little bit of a challenge for me. Although I generally do scrap 2 photos, I do 1 and 2 photo layouts tend to be my norm. And when I think of multi-photo, I tend to sort of go way multi, I guess you would say. And I often tend to think in terms of a double page spread. So that is what I did for this edition of Multi-Photo Monday. I went with a double page spread. So I found this lovely sketch here from Page Maps a couple of weeks ago when Amy, One Scrapping Mommy here on YouTube, was doing her Sunday Facebook Live. She was using a sketch from this edition of Page Maps. So I printed out the page, and this double pager caught my eye right then and there when I was thinking about this project. And so that's what I went with. And here is my project. I stayed fairly true to the design of the multi-pager. I would say basically the basic design, the photo placement, the layers behind are quite true to the sketch. I deviated a little bit down here. You see where I actually added a cluster. In the sketch here, the journaling is here, whereas I have my title. And where the title is, over on this side, I have my journaling. My cluster is a little bit lower, and my cluster over here is maybe, no, that one is pretty much at the same place. But all in all, I think if you look at this sketch and you look at my project, you'll say, yeah, she followed that sketch. So what autumn, to me, this layout, and here comes a cat again. So there you go. So for me, Sophie, you're a pooker. There we go. So let's see if I put her on my shoulder. So what autumn meant for me in terms of this layout, I think, is the darker photos. These are all buildings and a little bit of a bridge here, scenery type photos from Glasgow during my backpacking trip in 2006. The photos here are maybe a little bit darker. A lot of the buildings, of course, are just some stonework, so that sort of meant maybe a little bit of an autumn feel to me for the photos. And then, of course, the supplies I used my Secret Not Secret Kit Club kit, the Indigo and Ivy. And the Indigo and Ivy, I think, is quickly becoming one of my absolute favorite collections this year. And it can certainly have a bit of an autumn feel to it, although it is a very, very versatile collection. But I think the portions of it that I chose for this layout do sort of give a bit of a fall or an autumn feel, or at least they certainly go very, very, very well with the photos. So the easy part, so I cropped down these photos here. They're a little bit larger than the photos in the sketch, which I think are 3 by 3. These here are 3.75 by 3.75, but I placed them in exactly the same way. I layered behind. And here, Kelsey, you'll be very, very proud of me, because basically this whole layering portion here, except for this piece here, is all one piece of 12 by 12 paper, and I still have some left over. So there's a lot of gutting that went on here. These are just basically little strips of that paper that I put here, so I'm quite proud of that. So I got this first layer done in the back, and you'll notice here that something very different for me is I didn't actually map my photos. I generally map my photos, but I did not map my photos here. I think I probably could have matted them in this, I think this is suede, brown suede, something like that from Stampin' Up, the cardstock that I used back here. I could have, and it might have made the photos stand out a little bit, but in this case, since they weren't matted in the sketch, I chose to not map them here. Got this lovely layer of paper here, and then all along the bottom here is just a strip, and then a border strip down here that extends out a little bit to give a shelf. Now in the sketch here, this little tiny border went all the way to the end. I didn't really like that feel. I thought that was maybe a little bit too much. So I cut it, but then I made this bottom little layer extend out a little bit as well, so that I could have a bit of a truer shelf for my embellishment. So once I got that basic design down, I found a frame so that I could frame this photo, because there will be on another page a little bit of a story about this photo, because underneath this bridge here is the absolute best little fish and chip shop in the world. It looks like a little hole in the wall. It was amazing. So I went into my scrap bowl here and I got this little frame. It's a Simple Stories frame. And yes, it's upside down, and the flowers are probably upside down, and they don't quite match in a color tone, but I like the frame, I like it there, and there you go. So I got the frame out. Then this is a little journaling card that I had also in my scrap bowl. It was from a Heidi Swap collection. So I got my journaling out here. Then this all came from my kit. The butterflies from the die cut pack. These lovely little wood veneers came from Color Cast Design, but they were in my Indigo and Ivy kit. This handmade embellishment was in my bowl, and I've had it for so long, and it was way back during one of our Secret Not Secret Kit Club parties when Sarah Scraps had given a little tutorial on handmade embellishments, and I made quite a few. Punched out some little shapes, some little banners here so that I could do a little bit of layering and make this feel nice and complete. Then I went over onto this side, and because I wasn't doing a lot of journaling here down the side, I was basically just putting my title, Glasgow, and these are some Fancy Pants Design puffy stickers that I added to my Indigo and Ivy kit that I just put down the side here. I decided I would do a little bit of a cluster down here, and the way I had extended these little strips out a little bit more was perfect. So I got a couple of the butterflies that match this paper out of the die cut pack, as well as the leaf here, and this gives a lovely little watercolor effect, but a little bit of earthier or darker colors that would match the fall. I inked all of these. If you notice, I did not ink the main paper here, but I did ink this little bottom layer and this layer since they were sticking out in the it's soft suede. There you go. I inked it in the soft suede ink. I inked these, and these are lovely, very thin wood veneer. They're just lovely, and they come sticker backed, so that is quite awesome as well. Punched out a little shape. Did a little bit of a banner. This little doily was sitting in my bowl, so again, I could have a little bit of a cluster here. So I have a bit of my triangle. And I find that double page spreads that have a lot of photos like this actually need less embellishment. So these are 3, I would say, medium-sized clusters, not large clusters, not overly embellished. They let the photo shine, but there is enough decoration, and enough decoration that it frames everything so that your eye can definitely not miss the photos. My journaling is, although its origins are industrial, mainly shipbuilding, Glasgow today boasts quite a cultural scene: arts, music, ballet, and a lot of museums. So I actually have the Parliament building here, quite a famous suspension bridge. The train station is around here. This is just the older part of Glasgow, a downtown walk, pedestrian street. So a lot of the lovely architecture of Glasgow. And this will also serve as sort of an introductory to that part of my album. And then I finished off here with some lovely dream drops. As you may have already heard, I'm on a fairly extensive spending freeze along with my friends Christy and Shannon for a year, and I am transitioning away from enamel dots into Nouveau drops. And look, are these not gorgeous? These are just gorgeous, and they look exactly like enamel dots. They dry beautifully. The dome shape is beautiful, and these are dream drops in gold luxe and dragon scales. And Christina had sent this as part of my Indigo and Ivy kit, because this kit was huge, because actually my lovely friend Becky, which is another reason I wanted to use this collection for this project, participated in that kit, and therefore my kit was extra large. So thank you again, my lovely friend. So there you have it. So here again is the sketch that I used, and there we go. So we got 6 pictures on this, and a lovely double pager. I hope you enjoyed it. Tell me, do you do a lot of double page spreads? Double page spreads, are they for you what they're for me? Like a little bit, like if we're talking lots and lots of photos, it's a double pager. I have trouble, although I do occasionally do a grid layout with 4 on one 12 by 12. Generally, a lot of photos means a double page spread for me. What do you tend to use double pagers for? Let me know down below. Leave me any comments you might have. Make sure you follow around. The link to the next person is below. So just follow along each of the links until you get back here, and you will have gone through everybody's awesome projects. Thank you so much for the support, for the liking, commenting. I love your comments. I love engaging in our little discussion questions. So keep your comments coming, and I will see you again soon. Bye for now.